Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see about the control unit operation. So what is this control unit? It comes under the CPU. So CPU has three components. One is the registers, then the arithmetic and logical unit ALU, and then the control unit. So this is what we are going to study today. So this control unit it performs two tasks in the processor. So first thing is it causes the processor to go through a series of micro operations in a proper sequence to execute the program. And the second one is it generates some control signals. And so these control signals what it will do is it helps in the transfer of data from the registers and to the ALU, and from the ALU to the registers and so on. So these are the two main tasks performed by the control unit of the processor. So what this micro operations are? So the execution of an instruction it includes some cycles. We know that the instruction cycle consists of the fetch cycle, execute cycle, interrupt cycle, and here one more thing that is added here is the indirect cycle. So what this indirect cycle is that we have seen in the addressing mode the indirect addressing is possible. So if indirect addressing is used, then we need to have more number of memory accesses. So extra memory accesses will be there. So hence this indirect addressing itself is considered as a different stage. So here we have considered four stages: the fetch stage or the fetch cycle, indirect cycle, execute cycle, and the interrupt cycle. Now here in each of these cycle we have a sequence of operations called this micro operations. So in every micro operation the transfer of data between the in every cycle there are a sequence of micro operations, and it involves transfer of data between the registers, or between the register and the bus, or between register and the ALU unit to do the ALU operation. So in each of these micro operation it does very little operation, and so these are the constant elements of a program execution. So this already we know that. So every program consists of several instructions, and each instruction has an instruction cycle, so consisting of fetch, indirect, execute, and interrupt cycle. And in each cycle we have a sequence of micro operations. So we'll see one by one each cycle and how these micro operations are working. In the fetch cycle, we are going to use four registers: memory address register, memory buffer register, program counter, and the instruction register. So memory address register is connected to the address bus, and it specifies the address for reading or writing operation. And the memory buffer register, it is connected with the data bus, because it is holding the data either to read or to write. And the next one is program counter. So we very well know that it holds the address of next instruction to be executed. And the instruction register, it holds the instruction that was fetched from the memory. So now the sequence that is going to happen in this fetch instruction is that we can see here in this micro instructions. So in the fetch cycle alone we have three steps happening in T1, T2, T3 times, and it has four micro operations. So we can see that in time T2 there are two micro operations. So this is each of these is a micro operation. So what happens here in fetch sequence? At time T1, first initially the address present in the program counter, the contents of So if it is given inside this bracket, it means that contents of. So contents of the program counter is given to memory address register. And next, then what happens? So the memory that is specified there, that content is going to be sent to memory buffer register. And while we are doing this, we are incrementing the program counter, because now the program counter has to hold the next instruction that has to be fetched, the address of the next instruction, and then we are transferring the contents of memory buffer register to the instruction register. So this is the sequence. And this incrementing this program counter, it can be done in the third clock cycle also. So but the thing is, while we are grouping the micro instructions like this, the main thing that has to be that we need to keep in mind is that proper sequence has to be followed. For example, here the address of the program counter has to be sent to MAR, then only we'll be able to access the memory contents of this memory location, and that can be put in the memory buffer register. So this order cannot change, we should not change this order. And conflicts has to be avoided. We cannot read and write in the same register at the same time. So, and this has to be taken care of. And also this program counter, when we are incrementing one, what it does is it moves to the next instruction, next address where the next instruction is present. The next one is indirect cycle. So here the instruction address contains an instruction. So the address field of that instruction is taken and given to memory address register. And again we are, so hope you could link with your addressing mode, indirect addressing mode. So again that memory is fetched where you will be getting the actual content. So finally the address field of the instruction register will be updated from this memory buffer register. So if you do not understand, please kindly check your addressing modes, indirect addressing mode, then only you will understand this. The third one is the interrupt cycle. So usually the program counter will be having the address of the instruction that is present sequentially, but when interrupt comes, then we need to save the context of the program counter. So the program counter's value will be saved in memory buffer register, and where this is present, that address has to be saved in memory address register, because after the interrupt gets over, after the interrupt is executed, we need to come back to the original program counter address. So the routine address is now, that is this interrupt routines address. So now we are going to execute the interrupt. So the address of that starting point of interrupt has to be stored in now program counter. Then the content of memory buffer register will be stored in the memory. So once the interrupt gets completed, then again the next instruction actually has to be executed, that will be present in this MAR. Now that will be again given to program counter. And the last one is the execute cycle. So in execute cycle, it depends on the instruction. So for example, here we have taken the add instruction. So add R1 comma X. So that means the contents of location X is going to be added with register R1, and the result is again stored in R1. So now again here, if you see that we have used the indirect addressing. So the address present in the instruction is given to memory address register. So from there again that memory address, the content of that memory will be fetched and given to memory buffer register, and finally we are adding the contents of memory buffer register and R1 to get the result. So these are the different micro operations that are used within the cycles, within the different stages of your instruction cycle. Thank you.